Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. I didn't get this out yesterday, guys. I'm sorry, with all the hype stuff and feud and all that. I didn't have time to get it done. Scott got me the information right away, so it's not Scotty's fault. Again, thank you very much, Scott, for doing this. Very much appreciated by me and tons of people. So solo points is on the right here, guys. Tours have 6.3 million, feud battleground 2.125. Actually, let's go into the feud battleground here. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Along with this, like I would skip out on this 300,000 and will. I would sorry, 300 million. I would skip out on the 250 million and will. Not worth it for me. You do get a guaranteed strap here of 150, but it's random class era and it's just not worth the time on my weekend this weekend. This is the one you kind of want to get to if you're chasing medallions, because you have 4 of the SummerSlam ones in here. If you're just chasing max solo points, you don't need to go to 200 million. It's a much smaller number. You can dip out right here at 100 million, right? So you will miss out on 4 medallions, but so those are kind of like ones that make sense to me, like pushing to 200 million makes sense, and then pushing, if not there, then maybe 100 million and call it. In the bonus milestones, you'll miss the chest of disappointment between the two, and a plate case, which can end up being quite nice, and it can end up being not that big a deal, right? So they're RNG hit or miss. So yeah, personally, me, I'm gonna go for the 200 mil milestone and then call it a day. There is there's a scenario where I have enough CSS that I hit 250, and then kind of naturally, so I get there. But this is my goal for me. Okay. Faction leaderboard has up to 500,000. So typically, this one, that's this. We want to go here. Rank 11 rewards. It goes down quite fast, was what I was going to say, right? So most of you can plan on, like, you know, 150 or 100,000. So, but up to 500,000. Portal free claims 120,000. CSS, which are for the tours, which I haven't done any of mine. You can see I'm awesomely rocking this. I haven't even done all the tours. You get 140,000 for each CSS you have winning in the tour. So Bex, Gable, EO, and Coco, and then new Ray Phoenix, right? 140K for each one you have, so you can add those up. Excuse me, sorry. So total, you're gonna get 8.5 million if you get, do all your tours and stuff, plus the faction leaderboard and your battleground, plus CSS, and then there's a battleground leaderboard. Not a lot in that. The battleground leaderboard is actually really horrible for the effort. So don't recommend counting anything on that. I know I don't. Final free milestone is 8.219. So let's flip over to the solo contest now, which is right here. And then, of course, we have the Prizewall coins on the left. These are really helpful. Free solo, there's 3. Bonus solo free-ish, 0. None in bonus milestones before 8.7. And 8.7, you could maybe, if you have a lot of CSS like me, I'll get there free, right? But for the most part, you won't. So that's super accurate, right? For 99 probably percent of the people that watch this video. I don't think that people that have a lot of the CSS watch a lot of my videos, to be honest. So maybe even closer to 100%, you're not going to get that. Faction event, there's 1 in. So if your faction maxes, you get that. Feud battleground, we already covered. If you get to 200 million, you get 10. If not, and you get to the 100 million, you get 6, right? Free-ish total, 14. So if you get to 1.82 million in the solo, sorry, I just went dyslexic on that. You get to the 8, the free chest, we'll just say that, you're going to end up with 14. And then if you get to 8.729 here, you'll get 17 total. This is assuming, of course, you get all of them from the battlegrounds, right? The next break is at 9, right here. You get to here. It starts getting a little bit juicier. You get 26. Now you're up to, I think it says 32, but if there's 8 here, that should be 34, right? And then after that, the 9, you'd be up to, if you were at 34 on the other one, you'd be up to 44. And then, 32 at the end, which, let's face it, we're not getting there. So most people probably going to be between 10. Like if you don't max your battlegrounds, like my free to play, if he's really lucky, might get to 10, probably more like 6. So let's just say most people between 6 and 26 Prizewall currency, right? Between 6 and 26. If you get more, we'll talk about that, but that's, I think, a pretty good accurate spot. As far as pushing, right? If you want to do like a small spend and you get a few more tokens, like 17, maybe it makes sense to go to the 8729. We'll see what you can get. Prizewall tokens, 14 versus 17, and 17 versus 21, etc. Right? So we'll check that out. And you can just push to those milestones if they make sense for your prize wall, right? Keep in mind, you can also buy Prizewall tokens, typically medallions and stuff. So also, if you get to 6 million each feud, you can get this chest for free. 6 million each feud gives you this. It's 300 shards, hopefully of somebody useful. And then apparently also a guaranteed skill plate, which, other than the Fearless Stare, I would be stoked to get anything out of this. So actually, the ones in Showdown maybe not as much, are the Dirty Deeds, but the rest of them, yeah. And then the 300 shards, there's some really good shards in here. So if you can get to 6 million each feud, that's raw war score. Definitely worth going for this. You spend 20 bucks, you can get, if you miss one, you can spend 20 bucks and get it, or you can get it as well as an additional random strap. I don't think it's worth it at all for the random strap. I also wouldn't spend 20 bucks for a random plate, chance, and shards. But getting it free, yeah, I think that's quite nice. So I do think it's worth doing that. As for the actual prize wall, this is where it gets really interesting. So normally I would say Braun Breaker 31, awesome, but they sold him for 30 bucks just a little bit ago. And you're going to spend more than 30 bucks to get to 32 prize wall coins. So I think this is like kind of stupidly overpriced when they just sold him for 30 bucks. This should be like 25, probably 20. So I don't get the pricing there. You just sold him for 30 bucks. You're not getting his tokens without spending way more than that. I think that would be a really bad use of your tokens. So there's that. Bronson Reed, if you don't have him and it recruited him, the 17 milestone, you could potentially get there for free. He's also been on some of the end of the month prize walls and stuff, like not prize, yeah, the end of the month, not prize wall, but the one you redeem your tokens with. I don't actually like the pricing on this either. Like, it just seems really high for what it is. He's not been hard to get. He's not really a good character, to be honest, compared to what we have. Like, for A tier boss man, significantly better by miles, just for example, as to quote for a recent one. So actually, don't like either of these. I don't think they really belong on the wall, and I think they're overpriced, right? If Bronson Reed was like 6, like we've seen in the past with some of the prize wall ones, okay, then we'd have something. And if this was somewhere between 15 and 25, probably closer to 15 than 25, then yeah, that would be great for a Braun Breaker. But I mean, it's just not. They feel like they're overpriced since they just sold them for 30. Okay, gears. Holy crap, you're going to have to spend a metric crap ton, and obviously you're going to have to count on Portal to get even this much, because there's not enough for any of these without maxing, but you're also spending on the Portal, and you get a bunch more there if you spend on the Portal. So yeah, the Mommy gear is definitely better than the Drew gear, in my opinion. Well, maybe it's not. The Drew gear adds a ton of damage with him, and you can 2-click with him, but it's so expensive, right? If you're chasing the Drew gear, you don't need me to tell you to get it or not. You know what I mean? Naomi is ridiculous with her gear. Mommy's ridiculous with her gear. Really, Alexa gear is weirdly overpriced. I don't get that. The Punk gear is the way better choice at 50. I do want the Alexa gear. I don't have it, but I hate this price. I mean, you're talking about having to spend 100, probably 100 plus bucks minimum, unless you pull Phoenix, then maybe not. And if you get here, the Punk gear is much, much better, right? So yeah. Lex gear at 10, actually really like, if you, especially if you're in the faction event. Like I got the gold gear free in my faction event. So this would give me the second gear for 10. This is something I'm eyeing personally myself. Also, if free to play got to 10, I would think about that as well. I don't know that he will at all. I can't see him getting the feud battleground 200 million, so, or maxing the solo, or getting the gold chest in solo, so he's out of the running for that for sure. I'll be lucky to get 6. um Whatever, not a super fan of it. It does add more though. If he's your guy you're using and you have 3 left over, it's not bad. Hangers, I hate the price on those. Straps, you guys know how I feel about these. You could get something way more useful, and when these, you know, 150 strap, whatever, it's nice. Maybe the Hall of Fame one. So let me slightly backtrack here. Hall of Fame can be hard to get. So if you for some reason missed out on Goldberg, like my free to play, you have Lex, you're going to be able to take him all the way up to gold, then maybe something like this. But his silver gear would be a much, much better pick, right? So I hate the pricing on that, but I could see a scenario. Shards, there's a lot of really good ones, right? But look at the pricing. We talked about most people being somewhere between probably 6 and 20 something, like 426 currency if you're spending a little bit, 17 probably. So Gunther and Jay are right in there, Mommy slightly over, but all of Punk is really expensive, really expensive. Drew is cheaper. This one, who's been crazy expensive for a long time, is cheaper at 200, right? But I mean, honestly, Mommy here is again kind of the shining star in my opinion on this sort of tier, but she's not quite on the same tier because you have to get to 8-8 to get hers. So like Gunther, good price. Yeet, good price. These forget about, in my opinion. They're not worth it. They're not super great. You have better options. You're better off chasing down this row if you get enough, right? So these I don't. Um, these two really good. No, on Sammy. So Naomi, Lyra, really good. But yeah, the solo. I mean, if it recruits it for you, solo maybe. Jade is required sometimes, but I can't stand her. There's so many good lady showboats. New A tier Bex is 100 times better. That's an exaggeration, but way better. Trickster solo, I don't use him for anything. Coach, trainer, whatever. I have way more bloodline options. Yeah, nah. This one, Punk has been really easy to get multiple times, so I don't like the pricing there. Cody, the story continues, still a great powerhouse, and they continue to sell his shards super cheap. And Roxanne, if you still don't have her, this is another opportunity to bank a bunch of shards of her. I think you got to take it. Dirty Dom is awesome if you missed him. Keep going for him and get him. Logan has been pretty easy to get, to be honest, multiple places, so not really sure about this, but it's only one, so if it gets you closer and you don't have them yet, yeah, I'm fine with it. Don't, and the rest is all econ and straps, so I don't really like it. Honestly, overall, you think most people getting between 6 and let's say 17, what do I actually like in here? Roxanne, I like Cody shards. Lyra, Naomi shards. Gunther and Jay. So it kind of a weakish Prizewall in my opinion. Pretty weak actually. I also like the Lex Silver gear at 10, to be fair. I really like that. Punk gear is actually pretty good at 50. Bliss, hate. Again, to recap, hate, 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 hate. And these are just so expensive. They're all great, but they're so expensive, right? And they make those superstars significantly better. They're impactful gears, but they're just so expensive. And these two are okay, overrated. This one's really good. Not by overrated, I mean overpriced. I'm sorry. I think it's a really weak price wall, to be honest. There's a lot going on. People are adapting, adjusting to hype and stuff. And I mean, this could be a lot better. I've said it a couple times, like, and a lot of people have said it. This was not the right Flash Feud weekend, not the right time to roll out hype, in my opinion. Um, yeah, but it is what it is. We have it now, and it's here, and it's not going to go away. So it's time to learn it, buck up, suck it up, and deal with it. Um, but yeah, uh, weak prize wall. But there is some stuff I want. So like on Mherex, I'm 31 shards away from Cena. So I can't really see spending 25 to get this. If I get to 25, I'll take the Lex gear. And if whatever I have left over, I don't even know what I'd get, because the only other thing I need on here is the more expensive gears, which I'm not spending for. They're not worth it to me right now. And then this. So it's really actually kind of a terrible prize wall for him. And my free to play, it's actually pretty bad as well. The best thing on it for the free to play, funny enough, would be the 200 Roxanne shards, so I can have enough shards to take her 6-star bronze. That would give me enough. So that's what the free to play is after, simply to use to shards to convert to be able to take her 6-star bronze and max her training ability. After that, it's actually a terrible wall for even my free to play. There's really nothing that super appeals. I'm still so far away from Dom. I probably would go for the Cody shards next, because they had him in some bags, so I think I'm getting closer, and he's been on a bunch of prize walls. So overall, yeah, pretty weak. Pretty weak. Prize wall, don't love it. Not a lot of targets for where you can hit. And I mean, honestly, at this point, if you're a big spender, these gears have been on prize walls a lot. And if they were attractive to you, these three in particular, you probably already spent for them. And they just seem kind of like rerunning it. I don't know. I just not feeling this prize wall. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this a good prize wall for you? Is there anything you're after with where you look likely to hit your prize wall milestones? Yeah, it looks in general like a pretty lackluster one to me. So let me know what you think, and remember to like, subscribe, and share, because that really helps me out. And thanks again, Scotty. Super appreciate this. And also, I'm sorry everyone that this didn't get out till Saturday. So yep, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Yeah, this one is not that cool. It's a good weekend to not really feud a lot, to be honest.